Let's pay attention to the scoring here. Jam is called off quickly. So let's see from the top. What's relevant here? Penalty box is empty. Jam is called off at this point, and this skater has been passed. But critically, this skater is not going to the penalty box. They are not tending an injury. They are not fixing their equipment. So they are still within active play because they are only being recycled. They're about to rejoin, re-enter the track. So because they are in active play, even though they are out of bounds, they are scored at the point when the hips are being passed. And since the penalty box was empty, this is 1 point. If the skater would be, for example, going to the penalty box, it would be 0 points, because at that point they are considered a not on the track point, and they would be only scored when the first on track opposing blocker is scored. Here let's mind the jammer's approach to the puck. Here there's apparent contact high from the jammer to the blocker, and we need to figure out who was the initiator, whose fault it was that there was this contact high. If you look at it in slow motion, the movement by the blocker is quite subtle, but does exist. They are racing for contact, bringing their head down just a smidge and moving into the way. And if you see the movement, if you look at the movement of the jammer, they are trying to go around, in my opinion. And they are not certainly like bringing their shoulder down or like bracing for a hit. They're trying to go around. So based on this footage, well, let's look at it in real time one more time. So the call was here that even though the movement by the blocker was quite subtle, it was enough for the contact to be high. Especially if you bring your head down just a smidge, that is the difference between hitting the chest or the chin. And the jammer is not counter-blocking, they are just trying to go around. You can make your own call, but based on this situation in real time, there's my signal for me thinking that it was the receiver initiating the contact, so no high block call there. Let's have a look at this. Jam start focusing on the black jammer. Over here, it's a tight scrum, slow pack. Jockeying for position, all kinds of stuff happening. White gets awarded lead, jammer cover comes off for black. So let's have a look here where my focus is on this jam start. So here at the start, what I'm looking at is whether this skater is impeding with the forearm, if there's multiplayer blocks between these two skaters. That's my main focus here. Also the direction of gameplay looks to be good. Now there's this fallen skater, and I'm checking if there is contact initiated to the down skater. Not seeing any here. The jammer is letting up a bit. Has to not hit the down skater, so that's fine for me. Now the cover's coming off. My focus here, obviously, to check whether there's a star pass. Here at this last bit, we're trying to figure out whether there's force in this push. Is there's a forearm penalty committed by the black jammer here? So basically, are the arms just tracking, or are they pushing the white blocker out of the way? Notably, the white blocker already has momentum going to the infield. So, and the forearm does not look like me. It's like throwing the blocker out of the way. The hand is mostly just tracking. So the call in real time was that the pass was not due to the forearm action there, if you look at it in real time. Certainly could be argued for a forearms penalty there, but not today. Let's have a look at scoring in this situation. If we count the points for the black jammer, white 4 has been scored at this point, and the other white blocker in the back as well. And at this point, we are scoring white 164. So now it's only the pivot who has not been scored. And here, just at the end, as always, we check from the hips. So the hips of the black jammer, extending the hips backwards, is in front of the white pivot's hips. So that is the last point. So this is a 4-point scoring trip. Let's look at this jam unfold.
White 5, high block.
Right away we have a high block assessed. And here we see it. If you look at this slow motion, black jammer coming to the inside. This is white 5 in the back here, coming to intercept. And there's contact high. And it's the initial contact with the shoulder to the helmet. So clearly to me it looks to be initiated by the white 5 here.
White 5,
There's the cause for this high block call. Slow pack once again. I'm crouching down because I know there's several other referees looking at the same thing behind me. We end up getting the lead jammer. Let's check the scoring here. 1 point, 2 points. And here might have been that this white 4 was not passed upright. So initial call for me is that no point for white 4. So let's move on. Now white 4 is again in front of the black jammer, so there is opportunity to score on white 4 again. But the jam is called off, and there's this returning blocker. We knew there was one white in the penalty box because we made the call for that penalty ourselves. So in the end, call is 3 points. 1 not on the track point, 2 passed on the track, and 1 passed as well, but not upright. So 3 points. Let's have a look here following the black jammer. So what happened here? We hear a whistle from the OPR. White 1-3 gets a penalty. So if we go step by step, I believe it was a multiplayer penalty. You can actually see here, there's this grab by white 1-3, forming the link between the skaters. Links challenged, so clear multiplayer from the footage. OPR in good position. Our jammer gets hit out, immediately re-enters in front of the initiator, which would normally put the jammer in a cut position. But as we've just figured out, the initiator of the block had a penalty just enforced. So right away after the foul, you can't draw cuts anymore because technically you're in the box, or in this kind of Schrodinger's cat state, you're both in the box and not in the box. But anyway, re-entering the track in front of the initiator when the initiator is already considered in the box is totally legal. It's nowhere in pass situation. And you can see me figure things out, and here is my signal for the no earned pass. Another jam start here, focusing on the black jammer once more. So black jammer gets hit out, but there's lead awarded. So let's just have a quick breakdown here of the situation. Lead is awarded immediately when you have passed all the blockers on the track, earning a pass on every one of them. And as always, pass measured from the hips. So at this point, still touching only the track, and we are past the hips of the last blocker on the track. So definitely at this point, clearly in front of everyone, still not touching out of bounds. And it doesn't matter that we get hit out. So at that point, the lead is already awarded. And you can't lose it by getting hit out of bounds, even if it's right after earning it.